Imagine waking up one morning, thinking everything in your life is ordinary, and by nightfall, the world you knew is gone forever, swallowed by darkness, fear, and secrets no one wants you to uncover. This is exactly what happened in the chilling case of the Smythe Family Murders, a story so horrifying, so calculated, it feels like fiction, yet every detail is bone-chillingly real. On a rainy November night, the small suburban town of Millfield, Ohio, became the stage for an unspeakable tragedy that will haunt investigators, journalists, and neighbors for decades. The Smythes, a seemingly ordinary family of five, lived in a modest home at the end of a quiet cul-de-sac, their life appearing perfect from the outside, a facade that would be shattered by a brutal, premeditated attack. Sound cue, thunder rumbles, a door creaks open. At 10:43 p.m., a mass intruder slipped through a side window, a predator with intentions that would defy comprehension. By the time the police arrived, the scene was horrifying. Each family member had been killed in a manner that suggested methodical planning. Yet the motive was impossible to grasp. The youngest child, barely 10 years old, survived by hiding under bed, trembling and silent, witnessing horrors no human mind should endure. Investigators discovered signs that the perpetrator had studied the family for weeks, perhaps months, their routines, their comings and goings, every small vulnerability noted with precision. Visual cue, blood-stained wall, broken family photos. The town speculated, theories spiraled, and fear spread like wildfire. Could it have been a neighbor, a stranger with an obsession, or someone far closer than anyone dared imagine? And then came the twist. Forensic evidence that initially pointed to a suspect, only to vanish mysteriously from files, witness statements that conflicted in ways that made no sense, and an unsettling silence from authorities that fueled suspicion of something larger, more sinister. Every clue seemed to evaporate, as if the truth was being deliberately erased, leaving the community to wrestle with a gnawing question. Who could commit such a crime, and why were they allowed to vanish into the shadows unpunished? The psychological terror wasn't just in the act itself. It was in the aftermath, the endless what-ifs, and the haunting knowledge that evil can reside anywhere, even behind familiar doors. Sound cue, heartbeat slow and echoing. Over the following weeks, cryptic letters arrived at police stations, taunting detectives, revealing fragmented knowledge of crime, yet stopping just short of confession, an intellectual game played by a mind obsessed with control and fear. Experts later suggested the killer had a clinical understanding of human behavior, deriving satisfaction not just from murder, but from the enduring terror left in its wake. And while the community rebuilt, the sense of safety never returned. Neighbors whispered about shadows at night, strangers watching from the periphery, every door and window a reminder that horror could strike at any time, anywhere. The survivor, now grown, speaks rarely, but her recollections are chilling. The intruder's calm voice, the methodical nature of the killings, the almost ritualistic placement of objects in the room. Details no ordinary criminal could orchestrate. This was calculated, deliberate, and designed to haunt generations. Even decades later, the Smythe murders remain unsolved, a dark stain on Millfield's history, and a reminder that sometimes evil doesn't announce itself with fanfare. It creeps quietly into our lives, and when we least expect it, shatters everything we hold dear. Visual cue, empty family home, shadows moving across the walls, a child's toy left in silence. This story isn't just about death. It's about fear, loss, and the horrifying realization that the people you trust the most may be powerless against a darkness beyond comprehension, and perhaps beyond detection. The question that lingers in the cold, empty hallways of the Smythe home, and in the minds of everyone who studies this case, is simple yet terrifying. If such evil can strike here, in the heart of a quiet town, could it strike anywhere, even to someone like you?